I think his show is terrific, and he's an excellent example of a high-level talk show host using StreamYard in a variety of ways. Hey gang, welcome to Brand on Broadcasting. I'm Ross Brand. StreamYard's got a bunch of new features out. The one we're going to focus on today is StreamYard Teams. It's all about collaboration. Now you can have a co-host, a producer, an admin who has access to some of the features of producing and even administering your account. And I want to bring right on a good friend and somebody who I think is really one of the best independent talk show hosts out there right now. It is Eric Hunley. Eric is the host of Unstructured on his own YouTube channel, youtube.com/Eric Hunley, has over 25,000 subscribers on a channel in which he started at the beginning of 2020, having never live streamed on YouTube before. He also hosts America's Untold Stories. He started a new channel for that show. It's already, in fact, this morning just crossed 5,000 subscribers and growing, and has a clips channel as well. And Eric, welcome to Brand on Broadcasting. It's great to chat with you.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. You have shows where you have co-hosts. You have shows where you're on a panel. You also do some moderating, producing behind the scenes. Let's talk about the different ways that you envision using StreamYard Teams and why you're excited about it.
I'm totally thrilled because I've been long awaiting something like this. I've been living, without it for a while. But how many times have you been watching a stream? You've got two people on it. They're co-hosts. Like I have News with Booze. You have the whole, hey, I sent you it in the private chat. The link's over in the private chat. Go ahead and grab that if you will. Or they're watching down. Hey, Bill Smith made a really interesting comment. Can you go ahead and pull that one up? Because we could see the comments on the side, whether we're a guest or a host, but only one can do it. And when you're trying to get a pattern going, and one person could be doing a delivery and then the other one might sit back and then they can kind of look at the comments and bring them forward. Because one of the magical things about the live stream, I feel, is the ability to literally bring in the audience. Why would they bother to watch it live unless they get to participate and influence the conversation? So You should always be aware of them. And I think that this just adds so much power. I do the show News with Booze with Allison Morrow, for example. We're complete co-hosts on that, and it would help a ton as we're riffing, and she could just bring up a comment because we do it on my channel rather than, let's check out that comment or what have you. I also do it with Mark Groubert. I don't know if he will do it as much, so it's depending on who you're with. Sorry.
Yeah, so there's basically a few different tiers that you can assign. If you own the channel, you can assign someone to be an administrator, which basically gives them full reign to schedule and do a whole bunch of different things with your channel other than shutting down the team or shutting down the channel. And then the other level is a co-host, which gives them a lot of the producing functions that they can change the shots and they can put the comments on, banners, all that kind of stuff. And what's really valuable about that, both for hosts who want to work with co-hosts and producers and for producers, is that now you don't have to give your email. You don't have to, give out over complete access to your account to somebody else. You are still the account owner. You still run it, but they can do some producing while they're on the show or behind the scenes. You just make them a part of your team. So let's start with the co-host. What do you envision the role for your co-host in using StreamYard Teams? How do you think this will help your show?
Well, quite literally, like I said, pulling up comments that she finds relevant. Also dropping links in the chat for example, for a story without having to have a YouTube window open on the side.
Right.
This is like a moderator on steroids. Right now you kind of play this little dance where, okay, everybody, make sure you get the YouTube window open, but mute the stupid thing because we've got an echo happening. And this just takes some of that out to where we can be in one place and actually moderate. I plan to use it with the panel as well. Not every lawyer is there, but there's certain people like Viva Fry, Giant Channel. He comes on a lot,
Right.
and he's very cognizant of the chat. And I will have 5, 6 people in the chat, or on the screen at one time, and that's a lot of moving parts. And everybody's looking at the chat and everything else. I have a couple of people in there who can all participate. That really increases the flow. So that's where I'm really stoked. I'll have you can have 5 team members, I believe it is. So obviously I'm one. I kind of feel like they should say 6 or you plus 5. It's a little goofy on that, but anyway, take what I can get. And I envision Allison getting one. David already has got one. Viva Fry, Mark Groubert, my other co-host. I don't know if I will do it with him or not as much because he's a storyteller, and the chat can also be distracting. So it depends on what you're doing. I may also, I've been asked in the past to possibly moderate for the behavior panel, which is 4 equal hosts who are the top body language experts in the world, or 4 of the top 10, and letting them do an AMA on their channel where I will be sitting there not visible, but just down underneath in a window. You don't have to bring me up. And I can be popping in questions as they come in that are more relevant or less relevant. They don't have to worry about the chat or anything else. They can just focus on the screen, what was brought up, and discuss it with each other, much like you would see in moderation on a stage somewhere. You just wouldn't see me, asking them.
Right. So in the co-host and in the one panel situation, you may be either the primary talent or one of the main talent on screen, and you're looking for help from somebody else who may be in a co-host role. In this case, you're really in a production role, and you're assisting the broadcast. And I guess we should mention that some of the people that you have on, you have a really big audience growing right now, over 25,000 on your main channel. You have people on who have hundreds of thousands of people in their audience, and you also have been a guest and active on their channels as well. So you're talking about the volume and speed of comments coming in that make it really hard, I think, to both produce the show, anchor it in terms of keeping it flowing, the discussion, asking the right questions, and then monitor the chat at the same time. So now you really can expand your ability to put together a sophisticated production, as sophisticated as you want to make it, because you can assign a different task to each one of those team members. Is that how you see yourself potentially using it?
For sure. Like last week, News with Booze, right? I had over 1,000 concurrent viewers.
Wow.
And the chat can just get just lit up. And I don't know how to describe it to people, but get to a point where you can't even track super chats. It's just it's bonkers because they're talking amongst themselves and everything else. So yes, the ability, and all of my panel shows with the lawyers, they tend to get north of 1,000 or very commonly.
Right.
And everybody's having a great time in the chat, but having multiple eyes, knowing different people as they go on, it's super, super helpful.
It's Eric Hunley. Find him on Locals at Unstructured and on YouTube at youtube.com/Eric Hunley. That's where you'll find Unstructured, News with Booze. And he also has the America's Untold Story YouTube channel as well. You can find his Untold Stories over there, and a Clips channel too. If that isn't enough, subscribe to all 3. Eric, thanks so much for spending some time.
Thank you.